configured our Java project to be able to connect to this this database server, the SQL database, MySQL database server. Now what we need to do is to tell what is it that we want to store. We want to tell the JPA what is it that we want to store in that database. Okay, and so we have this data model, this Java, plain Java object here, and this is exactly what we want to store in the database. This widget. Now, if you remember, there is no widget table that we have here, right? If we refresh, notice that there's no widget table. But we want to create a new widget table out of this Java class, right? And do the mapping for me, right? So to do this, we're going to annotate this as an entity, right? Notice that it grabs the right class from the JavaX persistence. That's the package for where the JPA is implemented. And what this does is that it tags this class as a table, meaning that I want to have whatever happens to this class, I want it to be reflected in a table, right? Including the name of the class, all the fields inside of it, the data types of the fields, and everything, right? Map it, try to map it, and create an equivalent table in the relational database. The other thing that we're going to configure here is that is required. One of the things that is required is definitely this entity. The other thing that is required is that you have to tell JPA how to manage the primary key, which is the field that is used to manage the primary key. And you do that by annotating with the ID annotation. Okay, and that's basically it, right? This is the minimal that JPA needs to get started. Right? So let's start this this server. Okay, notice that what JPA did here, right? It issued a create statement command out to MySQL, right? It did a create widget, so it used the name of the table as a default name for the the name of the class as a default name for the table. It declared ID as a varchar because it was string. By default, it used 255. You can override that. It also made the ID as a primary key. Right? If we head over to the database and we refresh, we'll notice that now we do have a table that was not there before. Right? It was created by JPA. Okay. If we open it up, we'll see that the columns indeed match the columns that we created. Also, notice the naming convention kicked in. Notice that topic ID in here, the topic ID was camel case. Right? We have capital I, right? Because again, it's case sensitive in Java, but it's case insensitive in SQL, so that's why notice that it replaces it with an underscore. So JPA is going to keep track of these things, right? The topic ID in Java maps to topic underscore ID in SQL, right? It's going to do this for us. Right? We don't have to deal with any of this. All right. Everybody okay?